Have you ever heard of a dog that looks more like a small bear or a river otter? Well, get ready to meet one of nature's best-kept secrets, the bush dog. This incredible animal lives deep within the forests and wetlands of Central and South America. It's so rare and so secretive that honestly many people who live right next to its habitat have never even seen one. For a long time, scientists knew very little about it, and some even thought it had vanished from our planet forever. The bush dog is a true survivor, a ghost of the forest that moves silently through the undergrowth, leaving behind only faint tracks and a sense of mystery. Its story is a powerful reminder of how much we still have to learn about the wild world around us. Imagine trekking through the dense, humid jungles of the Amazon. The air is thick with the sounds of insects and the calls of exotic birds. You are searching for a creature that is almost impossible to find. This is the world of the bush dog. It's not like the dogs we know as pets. It's a wild, elusive canid that has adapted perfectly to its environment. Its short legs, stocky body, and webbed feet make it an expert swimmer and a master of navigating the flooded forests and dense grasslands it calls home. This animal is a living testament to the wonders of evolution, a unique species that has carved out a niche for itself in one of the most complex ecosystems on Earth. Its shy nature is its greatest defense, allowing it to thrive far from human eyes. The bush dog, known to scientists as Speothos venaticus, has long been a puzzle. For decades, the only evidence we had of its existence came from fossils found in Brazilian caves. These bones told us that a strange, short-legged dog once roamed these lands, but no living one had ever been officially documented. This led many to believe it was an extinct species, a relic of a bygone era, lost to time like so many other creatures. The idea of a living fossil hiding in plain sight seemed like something out of a storybook. But the forests of South America hold many secrets, and the bush dog was one of its most remarkable ones, just waiting for the right moment to reveal itself to the world once more. Its re-emergence into the scientific world is a story of patience, luck, and discovery. It shows us that nature is full of surprises and that we should never give up on a species. The bush dog's story is not just about a single animal, it is about the incredible resilience of wildlife and the importance of protecting the vast, untamed places where such mysteries still exist. As we journey deeper into the world of this amazing canid, we will uncover its unique behaviors, the challenges it faces, and the dedicated efforts being made to ensure it continues to roam the forests for generations to come. The ghost of the forest is very much alive, and its tale is one that every nature lover should hear. So what exactly makes a bush dog so special? Let's take a closer look. First, it doesn't look like any other dog you've probably seen. It has a long, sturdy body, almost like a weasel or an otter, and very short, stubby legs. Its head is broad with a short muzzle, small rounded ears, and dark watchful eyes. Its fur is typically a reddish-brown color which provides excellent camouflage against the forest floor and muddy riverbanks. One of its most amazing features is its feet. They are partially webbed. This adaptation makes the bush dog a fantastic swimmer, able to chase prey into the water or easily cross rivers and streams that crisscross its territory. It is truly built for a life in the wet, dense jungles. Bush dogs are also highly social animals, which is a key to their survival in the wild. They live and hunt in small family groups or packs, usually consisting of a mated pair and their offspring. This teamwork is essential. Unlike a solitary jaguar that relies on stealth and power, bush dogs use cooperation to take down prey much larger than themselves, such as capybaras, agoutis, and even large peccaries. They communicate with each other using a series of high-pitched whines, squeaks, and yips that sound more like birds than dogs. This constant chatter helps them stay in contact while moving through the thick vegetation, ensuring the pack stays together during a hunt. Their social bonds are incredibly strong, and they rely on each other for everything. Their hunting strategy is a marvel of coordination. When a pack finds a scent, they spread out and begin to pursue their prey. Some members of the pack might chase the animal on land, while others use their swimming skills to cut it off at a river or stream. This pincer-like movement confuses and exhausts their target, making it easier to catch. By working together, they can secure a meal that would be impossible for a single bush dog to obtain. This cooperative hunting is a brilliant example of how social behavior can be a powerful evolutionary advantage, allowing a small tribe in a landscape filled with much larger and more formidable competitors. Beyond hunting, their social structure extends to raising their young. The entire pack helps care for the pups, which are born in a den, often a hollow log or an abandoned armadillo burrow. The adults bring food back to the den for the mother and her young, and they all work together to protect the pups from potential threats like jaguars, pumas, or large snakes. This communal effort ensures that more pups survive to adulthood, which is crucial for a species with such a small and scattered population. The bush dog's life is a beautiful illustration of the power of family and the incredible ways animals have adapted to not only survive but thrive in their natural world. For a very long time, the bush dog was a creature of myth and memory. The only proof of its existence came from fossils discovered by a Danish naturalist named Peter Wilhelm Lund in the 1840s. He found the bones in caves in Brazil, and described a species that was clearly a canid but unlike any known living dog. Because no one had ever reported seeing a live one, the scientific community concluded that the bush dog was extinct. It was listed as a creature that had vanished from the earth, a ghost species whose story was thought to have ended thousands of years ago. For nearly a century, this remained the accepted truth. The bush dog was a fossil, a footnote in the planet's long history of extinct animals. The story took a dramatic turn in the 20th century. Against all odds, a living bush dog was finally found. The rediscovery was not a single dramatic event but a slow trickle of evidence that confirmed the species was still out there, hiding in the most remote corners of South America. Local and indigenous communities had known about the animal for generations, of course, but their knowledge had not yet reached the broader scientific world. The first live bush dog to be formally studied was captured in the 1920s, but it was the increasing use of new technology in recent decades that truly pulled back the curtain on this elusive creature. The ghost had finally stepped out of the shadows. A major breakthrough in finding and studying bush dogs came with the invention of the camera trap. These are remote cameras that are triggered by motion and heat, allowing scientists to capture images of shy, nocturnal animals without being there. Researchers began placing these cameras along forest trails, near riverbanks, and in other areas where they suspected bush dogs might live. Suddenly they started getting pictures, grainy at first, but undeniable. There it was, the short-legged, reddish-brown dog, alive and well. These camera traps provided the first real glimpses into the secret lives of bush dogs, confirming their presence in areas where they were thought to be long gone, from Panama all the way down to Paraguay. The rediscovery was also fueled by collaboration with local people. Scientists began working more closely with indigenous guides and rural communities who possessed generations of traditional ecological knowledge. These local experts knew the animal's habits, the sounds it made, and the tracks it left behind. They could lead researchers to areas where the dogs were most likely to be found, helping to place camera traps in the most effective locations. This combination of modern technology and ancient wisdom was the key to unlocking the mystery. The bush dog was no longer a fossil. It was a living, breathing part of the ecosystem, and its rediscovery was a triumphant moment for conservation. Just because we know the bush dog is out there, doesn't mean it's easy to study. In fact, it remains one of the most difficult canids in the world for scientists to research. Their secretive nature is their greatest survival tool, but it's a huge obstacle for us. They live in incredibly dense and remote habitats like the Amazon rainforest, the Pantanal wetlands, and the Gran Chaco woodlands. These are not easy places to work. Researchers have to navigate thick jungle, cross crocodile-infested rivers, and deal with swarms of insects just to get to the study sites. Even then, the chances of actually seeing a bush dog with your own eyes are incredibly slim. They are masters of disappearing into the undergrowth. The bush dog's natural behavior also makes it hard to track. They have huge home ranges, meaning a single pack can roam over an area of hundreds of square kilometers. They are constantly on the move, following their prey and avoiding larger predators. Unlike wolves or African wild dogs, which often travel in more open landscapes, bush dogs move through a world of dense vegetation that makes direct observation nearly impossible. Scientists can spend months in the field and never get more than a fleeting glimpse. As a result, much of what we know about them comes indirectly, from evidence they leave behind like tracks, scat, and the precious images captured by camera traps. Even with advanced technology, the challenges are immense. Fitting a bush dog with a GPS collar to track its movements is an incredibly difficult task. First, you have to catch one, which is a major challenge in itself. Trapping a highly intelligent and wary animal in a vast, complex forest requires immense patience and skill. If a team is successful, they must then ensure the collar is safe, lightweight, and won't hinder the animal's ability to hunt or swim. The few bush dogs that have been successfully collared have provided invaluable data, revealing just how far they travel and how they use their habitat. But these studies are rare, expensive, and require a huge amount of effort for a small amount of data. Because they are so hard to find and count, we still don't have a clear idea of how many bush dogs are left in the wild. Their populations are naturally low density, meaning there are only a few individuals spread out over a large area. This makes it difficult to assess their conservation status accurately. Are their numbers stable, or are they declining? Without reliable population estimates, it's hard to know how urgently they need our help. Every piece of information, whether it's a new camera trap photo or a fresh track in the mud, is a vital clue that helps us slowly piece together the puzzle of the bush dog's hidden life and understand what we must do to protect it. The bush dog may be a master survivor, but it faces serious threats in the modern world. The single biggest danger to its existence is habitat loss. The forests, grasslands, and wetlands it calls home are disappearing at an alarming rate. Huge areas are being cleared for cattle ranching, soybean farming, and logging. As these wild places vanish, so does the bush dog's territory. They are being squeezed into smaller and smaller patches of forest, which makes it harder for them to find food, raise their young, and maintain healthy genetic diversity. This fragmentation of their habitat isolates populations, leaving them vulnerable and cut off from one another. Another significant threat comes from the loss of their prey. Bush dogs rely on a steady supply of large rodents like agoutis and pacas, as well as armadillos and peccaries. Unfortunately, these animals are also hunted by people for food. In areas where there is heavy hunting pressure, the bush dog's food source can become scarce. When there isn't enough prey to go around, the packs cannot sustain themselves and their numbers begin to decline. This competition with humans for the same resources puts the bush dogs in a difficult position, forcing them to travel farther and take greater risks to find a meal. A healthy ecosystem with abundant prey is absolutely essential for their survival. As their natural habitat shrinks, bush dogs are more likely to come into contact with humans and domestic animals, which brings new dangers. They can be exposed to diseases carried by domestic dogs, such as canine distemper and parvovirus. Since bush dogs have no natural immunity to these illnesses, an outbreak can be devastating to a small, isolated population. Furthermore, they are sometimes killed by farmers who mistakenly believe they are a threat to livestock. While they primarily hunt wild animals, a bush dog might occasionally take a chicken, leading to conflict. They are also sometimes killed by cars when their territories are crossed by new roads. The fact that bush dog populations are naturally small and spread out makes all of these threats even more serious. A small, isolated group is much more vulnerable than a large, connected population. A single disease outbreak, a forest fire, or a new agricultural project could wipe out an entire local population forever. This low genetic diversity also means they are less able to adapt to changing environmental conditions. Every single bush dog is precious, and the loss of even a few individuals can have a significant impact on the long-term survival of the species. The combination of all these pressures paints a worrying picture for the future of this unique canid. Despite the many dangers, there is hope for the bush dog. All across Central and South America, dedicated conservationists, researchers, and local communities are working hard to protect this incredible species. One of the most important conservation actions is protecting their habitat. This means creating and expanding national parks, biological reserves, and wildlife corridors that connect fragmented patches of forest. These protected areas provide safe havens where bush dogs can live and hunt without the threat of deforestation. Wildlife corridors are especially important as they allow different packs to travel between areas, promoting genetic exchange and keeping the population healthy and resilient. Conservation programs are also working to address the threats directly. This includes vaccination campaigns for domestic dogs living near protected areas to prevent the spread of diseases to bush dogs and other wildlife. Education and outreach programs are helping to raise awareness among local communities. By teaching people about the bush dog's important role in the ecosystem and clarifying that it is not a major threat to livestock, these programs help foster a sense of pride and stewardship. When local people become partners in conservation, the chances of success increase dramatically. They are the frontline guardians of the forest and the wildlife that lives within them. Research continues to be a vital tool for conservation. Every new piece of information we gather about the bush dog's behavior, diet, and habitat needs helps us make better decisions about how to protect it. Scientists are using innovative, non-invasive techniques like analyzing DNA from scat to learn about their genetics and diet without ever having to capture them. These studies help us identify the most important areas to protect and understand how bush dogs are coping with changes in their environment. This knowledge is the foundation upon which all effective conservation strategies are built, ensuring our efforts are targeted and impactful. The story of the bush dog is a powerful call to action. It reminds us that there are still wild, mysterious creatures out there that depend on us to protect their homes. Saving the bush dog is not just about one species. It's about saving the entire ecosystem it represents. As a top predator, it helps maintain the balance of nature by controlling prey populations. Its presence is a sign of a healthy, functioning forest. By protecting the bush dog, we are also protecting jaguars, tapirs, monkeys, and countless other species that share its world. There is still time to secure a future for this incredible forest survivor, but we must act now to ensure that the ghost of the forest continues to roam for generations to come.